He redeemed himself.
Redemption? Sure. But in the end, he's just another dead rat in the garbage pail behind a Chinese restaurant.
Fantastic Mr. Fox is one of my favorite animated movies of all time. Wes Anderson's 2009 animated classic is one of the greatest animated films ever made, and I go as far as calling it one of the greatest animated films of all time. At this point, you may be tired of hearing how great this film is, from its breathtaking animation to its captivating writing. Fantastic Mr. Fox is a film that subverts your expectations and goes a step beyond from what you would expect from a children's film. Ever since I watched the film for the first time, its victory lap-like ending never sat right with me. Even though the Fantastic Mr. Fox is a kid's film, it's still a film about a person going through a midlife crisis. After going from a renowned athlete to a random newspaper writer, Mr. Fox feels like he has hit a new low, with him constantly striving for something larger, with all of his schemes getting larger and larger until one of the farmers finally snaps. But even though he gets chased, shot at, and has his house completely destroyed, the only thing that makes him realize the consequences of his actions is the death of Rat. And this is why I think that this is a scene that completely changed Fantastic Mr. Fox. Hello, I'm Sunday, and today we're talking about the Rat, played by the wonderful Willem Dafoe, is probably one of the best characters in the whole movie, with him constantly stealing the show in every scene he's in. Even though he has around 4 minutes of screen time in total, from the second he's introduced, you know you're into a fun ride from beginning to end. Rat is being security, with his job being to guard his boss's so precious cider, a role that he wears with pride. Since the second he's established, it's implied that Rat and Mr. Fox used to have a past together, with the film hinting to a past event that kicked off their rivalry. I think that what differentiates Rat from most kids' movie villains is his death. When it comes to films made for children, villains' deaths are something that is not treated with much importance. The villain can have the meanest, most cruelest death possible, and the characters will go into an automatic dance party ending, not like they just watched a villain get hung from a tree. And this is one of the biggest problems with kids' movies, the empathy problem. Us as the audience, we're obligated to gravitate towards the main character, and normally the main character can't really do something morally reprehensible. At the end of the day, they're the hero of the story, they're not supposed to be flawed. And that's what makes Fantastic Mr. Fox such an interesting film. Mr. Fox is the complete opposite. Mr. Fox is a self-centered arrogant that only cares about getting things his way. If he says he doesn't want to live in a hole, he will get their family out of a hole, even though that the family does not have the money to afford said tree. If he says to take a shortcut, he will take said shortcut. If he says that Christopher is coming with them, even though he's a child that can really easily get in trouble, that means that Christopher is going to come with them. And what does this have to do with Rat? Well, a lot actually. At the end of the day, if you look at this film completely objectively, Rat is not really a villain. He's just an animal doing his job. None of the events that happen in said film would have happened if Mr. Fox never stole it in the first place. And that, I think, is what makes his death even more tragic. At the end of the day, Rat's death is Mr. Fox's fault. Nothing would have escalated so badly if he never stole in the first place.
Don't buy this tree, Foxy. You're borrowing at 9.5 with no fixed rate, plus moving into the most dangerous neighborhood in the country for someone of your type of species.
You're exaggerating, Badger.
None of the animals would have had to retrieve underground if Mr. Fox never provoked the farmers. Ashton Christopherson would have never been kidnapped if he listened to Rat and everyone else's warnings. But yet, he persisted and made everyone's lives even worse. To me, Mr. Fox is as much of a hero as he is the villain. None of this story would have happened if Mr. Fox ever listened to anybody around him.
Badger's right. These farmers aren't going to quit until they catch me. I shouldn't have lied to your face. I shouldn't have fallen off the wagon and started secretly stealing chickens on the sly. I shouldn't have pushed these farmers so far and tried to embarrass them and cuss with their heads.
During the whole movie's runtime, Rat is the only character that dies. But what makes his death special is how it's treated. It's completely humanized, with his death being treated with the severity of one of the main characters dying, because Rat, even though that he's one of the villains, is treated like an equal.
I've got a fox on a motorcycle with a littler fox and what looks like to be an opossum in the sidecar riding north on Farm Lane 7. Does that sound like anything to anybody?
Fantastic Mr. Fox is my favorite animated film of all time. And this is what I love about this film so much. Do I think that there's something inherently wrong with you if you think that Rat is a villain? No, because at the end of the day, he is. At the end of the day, he's still been security. But like I said before, none of the events of the movie would have happened if Mr. Fox never stole from them. Wright gave them a warning that Mr. Fox completely ignored, that ended up setting the chain of events that ended with Wright's death. And that is something that not many kids' film will make you think about the story from different perspectives, and how you may rationalize certain characters' actions even though that you're clearly in the wrong. After watching this film with that perspective, this movie's bittersweet ending made more sense, with it being less of a picture lap and being more of a live in the consequences of your actions type of ending. Yes, Mr. Fox and the rest of the animal community can live in the sewers and get fed by the supermarket above them, but they will still live with the burden with them not being able to live outside. And a film with so much death is incredible. To me, Mr. Fox is what Jordan Belfort is to the Wolf of Wall Street. While being the quote-unquote heroes of the story, when you put their actions on paper, you realize that there was inherently wrong. They're both given multiple chances to stop, but yet they persist and end up being their own cause of their downfall. Something that in Fantastic Mr. Fox's way is rarely seen in children's movies. The concept of defeat or a character not achieving their goals is something that you rarely see on film, and even more rare in children's media, because the concept of somebody not achieving what they wanted is something that is always attributed to a sad ending. And that's why I think that a film like Fantastic Mr. Fox should be used as an example when it comes to writing more children's media. Life is not perfect, but depending on the way that you move around it, it can be fantastic. This has been Sunday. Like if you like, dislike if you dislike, and see you in the next one. Hey, before going, I wanted to tell you thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry that I haven't really uploaded this much this month, and the main reason is because this channel has finally become monetized. Well, not really and not officially monetized, but yeah. Am I making money right now? Nah, but even though, that is thanks to you guys. And with that, I wanted to announce that more content is coming soon. Thank you so much for watching, and for real this time, see you in the next one. Listen to Cornucopia.